All right. Now, I know that this is not the most important story going on right now, but I did want to take a little break from just the heavy politics stuff we've been doing for a bit and let you know about something new that's going on. As many of you know, we have struggled at the show over time on different platforms. We've had 99.8% demonetization on YouTube during Adpocalypse 1.0, about 60% demonetization on YouTube during Adpocalypse 2.0. If you don't remember these incidents, the details are less important than knowing that at any point there are problems on different platforms. On TikTok, we have had suspensions for so-called COVID disinformation, which was us debunking COVID disinformation. We had a period of about 3 weeks where we lost all of our revenue on Facebook for wrongly being labeled COVID disinformation. Okay, we've had all these different things. We are now experiencing similar issues on Instagram. As many of you know, roughly 100,000 of you who follow us on Instagram, we publish our content to Instagram. It's another platform with a ton of users, and we want to be there. We learned last week that on Instagram, our account is being limited because of supposedly false content about COVID or vaccines that we have disseminated. And in fact, for most users, if you try to mention David Pakman Show, which is us on Instagram, you get a message which says, can't mention David Pakman Show, because they have repeatedly posted content that goes against community guidelines on false content about COVID-19 or vaccines. What on earth? How could this possibly be? I went and looked. Well, what are the clips that are supposedly false information about COVID or vaccines? There's only two such clips that were removed. One is where we covered that Dr. Fauci wanted a Fox host fired over a kill shot comment. There was a Fox host who talked about Fauci and used the phrase kill shot, which suggests violence against Dr. Fauci. We covered that, and the clip was removed. The only other clip that we have had removed by Instagram is one in which we covered we simply posted a sort of political cartoon about the reaction to prior tragedies, Pearl Harbor, 9/11, and then the number of people dying from COVID, which is well higher, and how for many people, there's no reaction whatsoever. That was also removed and flagged as spreading COVID disinformation. It was actually saying we're not taking COVID nearly seriously enough. Can you imagine? I looked up what is the Instagram policy on condemning COVID disinformation or debunking COVID disinformation. And very clearly, the policy is we allow content shared to condemn or to debunk. We condemned a Fox host using the term kill shot, talking about Dr. Fauci. We condemned the lack of care from so many in the United States about what at the time was 3,200 people a day dying of COVID. And we are now being limited on Instagram because we are spreading COVID or vaccine disinformation. Now you would say, well, there's got to be an appeals process, David. You've got to be able to appeal this. There is, but you can only appeal this ruling if each of these decisions has a case number attached to it, which ours do not. So we quite literally cannot appeal an insane decision. Now, I know a lot of people will say, oh, but David, this is the censorship you've been advocating for. No, it's not. That's not true. I have been saying these companies can have terms of service. And if I agree to the terms of service and I abide by the terms of service, then there shouldn't be any issue. The terms of service are being misapplied. We obviously aren't spreading COVID disinformation or vaccine disinformation. So if you work at Meta, Facebook, Instagram, and you think you can help with this, please get in touch with us. info@davidpakman.com. I would very much appreciate it. When we had an issue on Facebook, about a dozen people in the audience who work at Facebook got in touch and we were able to get it resolved. It took almost a month, but we were able to get it resolved. If you think this is something you might be able to help with, please get in touch, info@davidpakman.com. We just want to keep publishing our stuff. That's all. It's that we clearly have been caught up in some kind of dragnet. That's more conspiratorial than it is. Clearly, some kind of algorithm has misidentified our content. That's all. And we would appreciate help with that. And of course, as always, as we've said before, every revenue source we have other than our website memberships has been cut at some point in the past. It's happened with Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, of course, TikTok, YouTube, all of it. So the best insulator for us so that when these things happen, they don't really affect our revenues is to get a membership on our website, joinpakman.com. And you can do that. You can use the coupon code BIGVOTING22, sort of a coupon code to encourage voting and participation in the midterms. BIGVOTING22. You can use that to sign up at joinpakman.com. And it really does do a lot, and it helps to at least partially protect us from when things like this happen. So let me know if you work at Meta, Facebook, Instagram, info@davidpakman.com if you think you might be able to help.